Captain Park Min-ho pressed his face against the observation window of the survey ship Dawn Explorer. The space outside looked wrong somehow. Stars flickered with colors that shouldn't exist, and waves of energy danced between asteroids like living things. His crew had been traveling through this region for 3 days, and everyone felt something strange in the air. "Captain, you need to see this," called Dr. Kim So-jin from her science station. Her voice carried a mix of excitement and fear that made Min-ho's stomach tighten. As the ship's chief scientist, So-jin rarely got emotional about readings. Min-ho walked over to her console where numbers and graphs filled multiple screens. The data looked chaotic, with energy readings that spiked far beyond anything in their databases. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" So-jin ran her hands through her hair, a nervous habit she'd developed during their long journey into unexplored space. "These quantum signatures, Captain, I've run the analysis 17 times. The computer keeps giving me the same impossible answer." Lieutenant Choi Hai-won looked up from his communication station. "Impossible how?" "The readings match Zerium-9, So-jin whispered. The bridge fell silent. Every human child learned about Zerium-9 in school, though most teachers spoke about it like an ancient myth. It was the fuel that had destroyed civilizations, the energy source so dangerous that 3 massive galactic empires had banned it completely. Stories told of entire star systems vanishing when Zerium-9 became unstable. Engineer Lee Dong-min laughed nervously from his station. "That can't be right. Zerium-9 deposits were supposed to be smaller than marbles. You're showing readings for something the size of a moon." Min-ho stared at the data, his mind racing. Humanity had only made contact with alien civilizations 50 years ago. They were still the newest species in galactic politics, barely trusted with basic trade routes. Now they had stumbled into the one region of space that terrified beings who had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. "Captain," Haewon called out, his voice tight with concern. "I'm detecting multiple ships approaching our position, fast." The main screen showed 3 distinct groups of vessels racing toward them. Min-ho recognized the crystalline ships of the Vorthon Collective, their surfaces reflecting light in patterns that hurt human eyes to watch. Behind them came the flowing, cloud-like vessels of the Nethri Dominion, ships that seemed more like living creatures than machines. Finally, the geometric blocks of the Keth Syndicate approached with mechanical precision. "They're broadcasting on all emergency frequencies," Haewon reported. "Same message from all 3 fleets. Immediate evacuation required. Lethal radiation zone. All organic life in extreme danger." So-jin looked at her medical scanners with confusion. "But Captain, our radiation levels are normal. Better than normal, actually. The crew's vital signs have been improving since we entered this region." Min-ho felt it too. His mind seemed clearer, his reflexes sharper. Even the ship's systems were running better than they had in months. The quantum energy that supposedly killed everything it touched was making them stronger. The alien fleets stopped just outside the energy field, maintaining what seemed like a safe distance. Communication requests flooded their systems, each message more urgent than the last. "Put the lead Vorthon ship through," Min-ho ordered. The screen filled with the image of a crystalline being whose body shifted through different colors as it spoke. "Human vessel, you must evacuate immediately. Zerium-9 exposure causes cellular breakdown within minutes. Your biological systems cannot survive in that environment." "With respect," Min-ho replied, "we've been here for 3 days. My crew is healthier than when we arrived." The alien's crystalline form flashed bright red, a sign of extreme distress that humans had learned to recognize. "Impossible. Our records show that even our most advanced shielding fails against Zerium-9 radiation. How are you still alive?" "Doctor," So-jin stepped forward. "Perhaps we could share our scan data with you. Our readings might help explain what's happening." 3 hours later, the alien fleets remained at their careful distance while teams of scientists analyzed the human data. The results sent shockwaves through their respective governments. Not only were humans surviving direct Zerium-9 exposure, but they were thriving in it. "The energy signatures are unlike anything we've seen," So-jin explained to Min-ho as they reviewed the alien responses. "Our neural patterns seem to naturally sync with the quantum frequency. Where other species experience destruction, we experience enhancement. Dongmin nodded from his engineering station. The ship's efficiency has increased by 15% since we arrived. It's like the Xerium-9 wants to work with our technology. Through the communication channels, they could hear panicked discussions among the alien fleets. Words like impossible, unprecedented, and dangerous appeared in every transmission translation. Minho made the decision that would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Set course for the largest concentration of Xerium-9. We're going to learn everything we can about this fuel. As the Dawn Explorer moved deeper into the Forbidden Zone, the alien fleets could only watch in terror and amazement. The species they had considered barely civilized was swimming in energy that had destroyed empires, and they were getting stronger with every passing hour. The fuel that had terrified the galaxy for millennia had finally found the one species that could master it. Ambassador Yoonji Hie stepped through the airlock of Harmony Station with sweaty palms and a racing heart. The neutral meeting point floated in empty space between three galactic empires, built specifically for diplomatic emergencies. She had never imagined her first visit would be under these circumstances. The main assembly hall stretched out before her like a vast cathedral. Thousands of alien beings filled the space, their forms ranging from towering crystal structures to flowing gas clouds to mechanical hybrids that clicked and whirred as they moved. Every single one of them was staring at her. "The human representative has arrived," announced the station's artificial intelligence in dozens of different languages. Jihi walked down the central aisle, feeling like a child among giants. The whispers that followed her sounded like wind through broken glass, electronic static, and musical tones she couldn't identify. High Chancellor Vorth of the Vorthen Collective rose from his crystal throne, his body flashing angry red patterns. "Human, your species has committed an act of cosmic madness. Explain how you survived what should have killed you instantly." Jihai reached the speaker's platform and activated her translation device. "Honored beings, we understand your concern. We've brought our lead scientist to explain our findings." Dr. Shin Woo-jin joined her at the podium, carrying a case full of data tablets and scanning equipment. His hands shook slightly as he looked out at the alien assembly. "What we discovered challenges everything we thought we knew about Xerium-9. The Nethri Dominion's representative flowed forward, its gaseous form shifting from blue to deep purple. "Your scans must be wrong. Our memory singers have preserved the death songs of entire worlds consumed by single fragments of that cursed fuel." Wu Jin activated his holographic display, showing brain scans of human crew members exposed to Xerium-9. "These are neural patterns from humans who spent weeks in direct contact with the quantum fuel. Notice the synchronized wave formations." A mechanical voice from the Keth Syndicate section processed the data with audible calculation sounds. "These patterns match Xerium-9's quantum frequency. This should result in neural destruction, not synchronization." "That's what we thought too," Wu Jin admitted. "But human brain chemistry appears to naturally resonate with these quantum fields. Instead of being torn apart by the energy, our neurons use it to enhance their function." Chaos erupted in the assembly hall. Crystal beings flashed through the entire spectrum of light. Gas creatures swirled in agitated patterns, and machine voices buzzed with error messages. Jihai had to shout to be heard over the noise. "Please let us finish our presentation." "Chancellor," Vorth's form turned a deep, worried blue. "Do you understand what you're claiming? That your species can safely interact with the most dangerous substance in known space?" Back on Earth, President Han Yu-jin sat in an emergency meeting with his top advisors. General Park Soo-young spread satellite images across the table, showing alien fleets gathering at every border of human space. "They're scared, sir. More scared than we've ever seen them." "Good," said Dr. Kang Yoonji, head of the newly formed Xerium-9 Research Division. "Fear means respect, and respect means they'll listen when we offer to share our discoveries." The president studied the images of alien warships maintaining careful distances from human territory. "What's the status of the Prometheus project?" Commander Oh Soo-min stood up, his uniform still dusty from construction work in the Deadlands. "The research facility is 70% complete, sir. My teams are working directly with raw Zerium-9, and the results are beyond our wildest predictions. Yunji pulled up holographic displays showing quantum energy flowing through human-designed conduits. The fuel doesn't just tolerate our presence, it actively cooperates with our technology. Our computers process information faster, our engines run cleaner, even our lights burn brighter when powered by Zerium-9. Suman nodded enthusiastically. My engineers report that they can think more clearly when working near the quantum deposits. Problem-solving abilities increase, reaction times improve, even creativity seems enhanced. The president leaned back in his chair, processing the implications. So we're not just immune to what kills other species, we're actually benefiting from it. Meanwhile, in the Deep Space Research Facility, Dr. Moon Hyun-ji watched her team work with materials that should have vaporized them instantly. The Zerium-9 samples sat in simple glass containers, glowing with gentle blue light that pulsed in rhythm with the researchers' heartbeats. It's responding to us, she told her assistant Lee Sunwoo as they monitored the quantum readings. Watch what happens when I focus on the sample. The Zerium-9's glow brightened as Hyun-ji concentrated, the energy patterns shifting to match her brainwaves. When she relaxed, the fuel settled back to its baseline state. Sunwoo stared at the readings in amazement. It's like the Zerium-9 is alive and it recognizes us as friendly. Back at Harmony Station, the alien assembly was reaching the same terrifying conclusion. The humans weren't just surviving their exposure to the galaxy's most feared substance, they were forming a partnership with it. This changes everything, whispered a Vorthon scientist to his colleagues. If humans can control Zerium-9, they could become the most powerful species in the galaxy overnight. Ji Hae watched the fear spread through the alien representatives, like a wave. What had started as a simple diplomatic explanation was turning into something much more significant. Humanity had discovered they weren't just another species trying to find their place in the galaxy. They were something entirely new, something that made even ancient empires tremble with uncertainty about the future. Commander Lim Tae-hyun gripped the armrests of his captain's chair as the mining ship Quantum Harvest descended into the Deadlands. Outside the viewports, space itself seemed to ripple with waves of blue and purple energy. Warning lights from ancient alien beacons flashed red, their messages clear in dozens of languages. Danger. Death. Stay away. First time anyone's ignored. Those warnings in 3,000 years, muttered Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo from her station. Her fingers danced across controls that connected to equipment no other species had ever dared to build. Quantum containment systems are online, Commander. All readings show green. Tae-hyun nodded, trying to project confidence he didn't entirely feel. His crew of 40 volunteers had signed up knowing they might not come home. Earth's best scientists assured them that humans could survive Zerium-9 exposure. But theory and practice were very different things. Descent rate looking good, reported Navigator Song Min-jae. We'll reach the main deposit in 20 minutes. Through the ship's sensors, they could see the source of the galaxy's greatest fear, a massive asteroid, easily the size of Earth's moon, pulsed with quantum energy that made their instruments sing. Smaller fragments orbited around it like deadly satellites, each one containing enough power to fuel a civilization. Officer Jung, Minna monitored the life support systems with nervous attention. Atmospheric readings are stable. Radiation levels are actually decreasing as we get closer to the main deposit. That doesn't make sense, Ji-woo said, double-checking her instruments. The closer we get to Zerium-9, the safer we should be getting, not the other way around. Tae-hyun watched the energy readings with growing amazement. The Zerium-9 wasn't behaving like the chaotic, destructive force described in alien records. Instead, it seemed to calm down in their presence, its wild quantum fluctuations settling into steady, predictable patterns. Beginning extraction procedures, Ji-woo announced as they reached the optimal position. Robotic arms extended from the ship, carrying specialized containers designed around human brainwave patterns. The theory was simple. If human minds could synchronize with Zerium-9, then human-designed equipment should be able to contain it safely. The first sample came aboard without incident. Ji-woo stared at her readings in disbelief. Commander, The Xerium-9 is flowing into our containers like it wants to be collected. I've never seen quantum matter behave this cooperatively. Minna pulled up comparison data from her computer. According to alien records, Xerium-9 extraction requires massive robotic facilities operated from thousands of kilometers away. We're doing it by hand. Across the galaxy, alien observation posts tracked the human mining operation with instruments that barely functioned at such distances. The Vorthon Collective's crystal arrays recorded quantum signatures that defied their understanding of physics. The Nethri Dominion's gas-form scientists sang mournful songs, convinced they were witnessing the birth of a galactic catastrophe. In the Kith Syndicate's mechanical cities, artificial intelligences processed the data with growing alarm. Their calculations showed that the humans were not just surviving impossible conditions, they were thriving in them. Status report from the mining teams, Jiwoo called out as the hours passed. Teams Alpha through Delta have filled their containers ahead of schedule. The Xerium-9 is practically jumping into our storage units. Taehyun reviewed the cargo manifest with growing excitement. In just 6 hours, they had collected more usable Xerium-9 than any civilization had successfully gathered in recorded history. The energy readings showed enough power to supply Earth's entire electrical grid for over a century. "Sir," Minjai said from his navigation station, "we're getting priority messages from Earth Command. Multiple alien fleets are moving toward our position." The main screen showed dozens of ships from all 3 galactic empires approaching at maximum speed. Their formation suggested panic rather than attack. The aliens were more afraid of what the humans might accidentally cause than what they might intentionally do. "Open a channel to the lead Vorthon vessel," Taehyun ordered. Chancellor Zeth's crystalline form appeared on screen, flashing urgent orange patterns. "Human Commander, you must cease your operations immediately. The quantum destabilization could spread beyond your solar system." "With respect, Chancellor," Taehyun replied, "our readings show the opposite. The Xerium-9 becomes more stable in our presence, not less." "Impossible," buzzed a Keth Syndicate voice through the communication system. "Our projections show catastrophic failure within hours." Jiwoo stepped forward, holding up a container of pure Xerium-9 that glowed with gentle blue light. "Your projections are based on how Xerium-9 behaves around your species. It acts completely different around humans." The alien representatives fell silent as they processed this information. Their entire understanding of the universe's most dangerous substance was being rewritten by a species they had considered barely civilized just months earlier. Captain Song Hyunwoo's transport fleet arrived to carry the precious cargo back to Earth. Each ship's human crew served as living stabilizers for the quantum fuel, their presence keeping the energy contained and calm during the journey home. As the quantum harvest completed its mission and prepared to leave the Deadlands, Taehyun looked back at the asteroid field they had just mined. Ancient warning beacons still flashed their messages of danger and death, but those warnings no longer applied to humanity. The fuel that had terrified empires for millennia was now flowing peacefully through human-designed systems, ready to power a new age of exploration and discovery. What had once been forbidden was now simply another resource waiting to be harvested. The galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Kim Seo-jun stood on the bridge of the Stellar Phoenix, humanity's first warship powered entirely by Xerium-9. Through the massive viewports, he could see something that had never existed before in galactic history. The combined fleets of 3 ancient empires working together against a single enemy. Final count shows 3,200 alien vessels, reported Captain Bei Ju-wan from the tactical station. His voice stayed calm, but sweat beaded on his forehead. Vorthon crystal ships, Nethri gas-form vessels, and Keth machine fleets. They've brought everything they have. The human fleet numbered only 200 ships, but each one hummed with quantum energy that made space itself bend around their hulls. Blue light pulsed through transparent conduits running along every surface, carrying Xerium-9 power to weapons and shields that had been impossible to build just months earlier. "Status of the other battle groups?" Seo-jun asked. Commander Yu Min-seo's voice crackled through the communication system from her ship Quantum Storm. "Northern Fleet is ready, Admiral. Our ships are responding to the Xerium-9 better than we hoped. The fuel seems to know we're about to fight." Lieutenant Colonel Park Da-yoon reported from the Energy Dancer. Southern Group is in position. Sir, the Zarium-9 is doing something strange. It's connecting our ship's computers together. We can share tactical information instantly. SEO Jun nodded, though he still didn't fully understand how their new technology worked. Human scientists had learned to build with Zarium-9, but the fuel seemed to have ideas of its own about how it wanted to be used. The alien fleets approached in perfect formation, their commanders confident that superior numbers would quickly end this conflict. They had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years, crushing dozens of smaller species who had challenged their authority. Incoming transmission from the Vorthan flagship, announced Communications Officer Hong Soo-jin, High Chancellor. Vorth appeared on the main screen, his crystalline body flashing patterns of righteous anger. Admiral Kim, surrender now and your species will be relocated to a safe world far from any Zarium-9 deposits. Continue this madness and we will be forced to remove the human threat permanently. Chancellor, Seo Jun replied calmly, we've offered to share our discoveries with all galactic civilizations. You chose war instead of cooperation. Your kind cannot be trusted with such power, hissed a Nethri voice as gas-form beings swirled around their ship's communication array. Zarium-9 has destroyed entire sectors. It must remain forbidden. The mechanical voice of a Keth Syndicate admiral processed through electronic filters. Biological species lack the computational ability to safely control quantum matter. You will cause galactic extinction. Seo Jun ended the transmission and turned to his crew. All ships prepare for combat. Remember, they expect us to fight like every other species they've conquered. Let's show them what humans can do with Zarium-9. The first wave of alien attackers launched missiles and energy beams that should have vaporized the human ships instantly. Instead, the weapons passed harmlessly through hulls that had shifted into quantum phase states. The stellar phoenix flickered like a ghost, solid one moment and transparent the next. How are they doing that? Screamed a Vordan ship captain, as his weapons found no targets. Captain Nam Hyojin commanded the Quantum Blade, a smaller vessel that danced between enemy fire like it was performing a ballet. Her weapons didn't launch missiles or fire energy beams. They rewrote matter at the atomic level, turning enemy armor into harmless gas. Admiral, reported Juwan with amazement in his voice, the alien formations are breaking apart. They can't hit ships that keep shifting in and out of normal space. Lieutenant Choi Min-ho piloted the phase runner through the middle of a Keth Syndicate squadron, his ship's Zarium-9 drive allowing impossible maneuvers that defied physics. Behind him, mechanical vessels spun helplessly as their targeting computers failed to track something that existed in multiple dimensions at once. The tide of battle turned when the aliens realized their enemy wasn't using Zarium-9 as a simple power source. The humans had formed a partnership with the quantum fuel, working together in ways that no other species had imagined possible. Sir, Minseo called from the quantum storm, enemy ships are requesting immediate ceasefire. The Nethri flagship is asking how we're still alive. Seojun watched alien vessels retreat in confusion and terror. Ships that had dominated the galaxy for millennia were fleeing from opponents they couldn't understand or effectively fight against. Officer Seo Ji-hoon monitored the enemy communications from his station aboard the energy wave. Admiral, they're calling us demons and ghosts. Some of the Vorthan crews are refusing to continue the attack. Open a channel to all enemy fleets, Seo Jun ordered. His image appeared on thousands of alien ship screens simultaneously, backed by the gentle blue glow of Zarium-9 energy. This war can end now. We didn't seek this conflict, but we'll finish it if necessary. Humanity offers cooperation, not conquest. The choice is yours. The combined alien fleets that had approached human space with such confidence now hung motionless in the void, their commanders struggling to understand how their overwhelming advantage had become a complete defeat. The species they had planned to contain or destroy had instead revealed themselves as masters of the galaxy's greatest power. The war that was meant to end the human threat had only proven that humanity was no longer the weak newcomer in galactic politics. They were something far more dangerous. They were the future. Ambassador Ryu Tai-min walked into the Great Assembly, hall on the ancient world of Accord. carrying a small metal case that would change the fate of every civilization in the galaxy. Representatives from thousands of worlds filled the massive chamber, their forms ranging from crystalline beings that sang with light to gaseous creatures that flowed like living clouds. The war had ended 6 months ago, not with humanity's defeat, but with alien fleets retreating in confusion and fear. Now, delegates who had once planned to destroy the human species sat quietly, waiting to hear what the strange new power wanted from them. Honored beings of the galaxy, Taemin began, his voice amplified to reach every corner of the vast hall. You have spent 3,000 years fearing Xerium-9 because you saw it only as a weapon of destruction. Today we will show you that it is actually the key to unlimited prosperity. Dr. Moon Hyunji stepped forward and opened the metal case. Inside, a perfect sphere of pure Xerium-9 glowed with gentle blue light, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. Gasps and electronic shrieks echoed through the assembly as beings who had never seen the forbidden fuel up close stared in terror and fascination. This sample was created yesterday in our laboratory on Earth, announced Dr. Lee Sunwoo, the head of humanity's Quantum Research Division. Not mined from ancient deposits, not extracted from dangerous asteroids. We made it. The hall erupted in chaos. Crystal beings flashed through every color in the spectrum. Gas creatures swirled in agitated patterns, and mechanical voices buzzed with error messages that sounded like electronic screaming. High Chancellor Vorth of the Vorthan Collective rose from his seat, his form flashing urgent red patterns. Impossible. Xerium-9 cannot be artificially created. Our greatest scientists have tried for millennia. Your scientists failed because they approached the problem like every other species, Hyunji explained, activating a holographic display that showed the molecular structure of synthesized Xerium-9. You tried to force the quantum matter into existence. We learned to invite it. Sunwoo gestured to brain scan images floating in the air above the assembly. Human consciousness naturally generates quantum fields that match Xerium-9's energy signature. What destroys other life forms is simply our natural state of being. We don't fight the fuel, we partner with it. President Cho Min-ki signed the first Galactic Energy Accords while thousands of alien representatives watched in stunned silence. The document established humanity as the sole provider of Xerium-9 to all galactic civilizations, but not as conquerors. Instead, humans would serve as partners, sharing their gift to benefit everyone. The terms are simple, Min-ki announced. We will build Xerium-9 refineries in every major system that requests them. The fuel will be provided freely to power your cities, your ships, and your dreams. In return, we ask only for friendship and cooperation. The Nethri Dominion's representative flowed forward, its gaseous form shifting from deep purple to curious silver. Why would you share such power instead of using it to rule over us? Captain Kwon Ji-yoon, who commanded humanity's first commercial Xerium-9 transport ship, stepped up to answer. Because ruling through fear creates enemies. Sharing prosperity creates allies. We've seen what the galaxy looks like when everyone works together. It's beautiful. Within one standard year, human-operated refineries were producing clean energy throughout known space. The crystal cities of the Vorthan Collective glowed brighter than they had in centuries, powered by quantum furnaces that hummed with gentle efficiency. The Nethri Dominion's song winds carried melodies of abundance as their atmospheric processors ran on unlimited power. Even the Keth Syndicate's machine minds, initially resistant to accepting help from biological creatures, processed gratitude algorithms as their computational networks expanded beyond previous limitations. Dr. Kang Yoon-ji supervised the construction of the largest Xerium-9 facility in the galaxy, built in orbit around the neutral world of Harmony. Teams of humans worked alongside alien engineers, sharing techniques and learning from each other's expertise. The fuel responds differently to each species when humans are present, she explained to a mixed group of trainees. Vorthan crystal technology makes it more stable, Nethri gas form manipulation makes it more flexible, and Keth computational systems make it more precise. Commander Oh Soo-min led the first mixed-species crew aboard the Universal Harmony, a HFY massive transport vessel that carried Xerium-9 to distant worlds. His human officers worked side by side with alien specialists, their combined efforts creating efficiencies that no single species could achieve alone. 5 years ago, we were barely known in galactic politics, he told his diverse crew as they approached their latest destination. Now we're partners with civilizations that have existed since before Earth formed. It shows what's possible when fear is replaced with cooperation. Admiral Park So-yeon watched from the command center of humanity's first joint military base where human soldiers trained alongside alien warriors. The facility was powered entirely by Zerium-9, but the real energy came from the friendship and trust that had replaced centuries of isolation and suspicion. The galaxy's greatest fear became its greatest gift, she reflected, looking out at ships from dozens of different worlds working together in perfect harmony. All because one species was born to embrace what others found impossible to survive. The fuel that had once terrified empires now flowed freely through human hands, powering a golden age of prosperity, exploration, and peace that stretched across the stars. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as the bridge between the possible and the impossible.